Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Friends, I am very happy to be here with you this afternoon to give you a Dhamma talk during this retreat. This is a special retreat. This is the 3 characteristics of existence retreat. As I said yesterday, we designed this a special retreat for this year. Since it is more appropriate to the very topic, I would like to talk on the 3 characteristics of existence. Therefore, for this Dhamma talk, our topic is Introduction to 3 characteristics of existence. Once the Buddha said, all created things are impermanent. When one sees this with insight, one becomes disenchanted with suffering. This is the way. This is the path to purity. Sabbe sankhara anicchāti yada paññāya passati atha nibbindati dukkhe esa maggo visuddhiya. Sabbe sankhara anicca. All created things are impermanent. Yada paññāya passati, when one sees this with wisdom, with insight, yada paññāya passati, atta nibbindati dukkhe, then nibbindati dukkhe, disenchanted with dukkha, suffering. Esa maggo visuddhiya. This is the magga, this is the path to purity. Normally, generally, for many years, we used the translation, we used the term Sabbe sankhara anicca. All conditioned things are impermanent. Conditioned things. That is how we use this term. But friends, lately I found a very, very correct translation for this world, especially for this world. This new world system. That is the all created things are impermanent. This translation is by Gil Pronsdale. It's a very correct translation. All created things. There's no contradiction between Buddhism and creation. We accept creation. But we accept all created things are impermanent. That is how we see things. Whatever creation, all created things are impermanent. Whether we use the term creation, created, or conditioned, conditions, interdependence, depend on other things. Things are depend on other things, both the same. whatever in the world, whether animate or inanimate, this is the characteristic. What is the characteristic? Impermanence. All created things, all conditioned things are impermanent. Not only this, the Buddha said, Sabbe sankhara dukkha. That is the second characteristic. Dukkha, not only impermanence. All sankhara, all formations, all conditioned things, all created things are dukkha as well. Sabbe sankhara dukkha. That is the second characteristic. Then the Buddha further said, Sabbe Dhamma anatta. Yeah, the Buddha said, the Buddha gave the term Dhamma. What that means? Dhamma. Oh, Dhamma sanatta. In order to understand this, Dhamma means things, all things, whatever, animate or inanimate, all things, all Dhamma are anatta. What is anatta? No atta. All Dhammas anatta. In order to understand this clearly, we have to understand the discourse named the 6 sets of 6, Chakra Sutta. 6 sets of 6. Where at the very beginning, Buddha addressing the monks said, monks, I am going to teach you the Dhamma. I am going to teach the Dhamma. That is the Dhamma. What is the Dhamma? 6 sets of 6. There are 6 sets. 6 things internal. The Buddha said, 6 internal things to be understood. Internally 6. Then externally 6. 6 classes of consciousness should be understood. Then said 6 classes of contact should be understood. Then said 6 classes of feelings should be understood. Then said 6 classes of craving should be understood. In such a way, the Buddha pointed out what you call this Dhamma. All these Dhamma are impermanent, unsatisfactory, without a self. Not mine, not me, not myself. When you see this, this is what is called see things as they really are. Yatha bhutang pajanati. Yatha bhuta. Yatha bhuta, as they are. Yatha bhuta. That is nothing but vipassana. This is what is vipassana. So vipassana means seeing these 3 characteristics of existence. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. That is vipassana. Vipassana, you see clearly, penetratively. That is what is called vipassana. So if one sees these 3 characteristics, anicca, dukkha and anatta, one sees, one has vipassana. Friends, the Buddha realized this under the Bodhi tree on that special day of Vesak, the full moon day of May. That is why we Buddhists respect the Buddha and celebrate this special day, the full moon day of May. This is the month. During this month, this whole month, For Buddhists, this whole month is a holy month. The Buddha's Buddha's birth, attainment of enlightenment, and passing away. These three events took place the same day, on the same day, though different years. Therefore, we Buddhists respect, we celebrate, we commemorate this special day. On that day, the Buddha attained enlightenment by realizing these three characteristics of existence in the world. He realized that these are the three marks, three characteristics of all things. Not only these three. Buddha realized three principles in the world. The three principles are the four noble truths, the dependent origination, and the three characteristics of existence. Four noble truths, dependent origination, and the three characteristics of existence. These three I always explain and illustrate these three as a triangle. These are the basic, fundamental teaching. So, friends, these three characteristics of existence are one of the three principles that the Buddha realized on that day. Together with this realization, he became our Buddha, the supreme Buddha of our era. These three characteristics, after he realized these three characteristics of existence together with the four noble truths and the dependent origination, the Buddha revealed this Dhamma to the world. That was after 2 months. 2 months after his attainment of enlightenment, on the full moon day of July. The Buddha taught this Dhamma for the first time. He taught this Dhamma to 5 disciples: Kondanya, Baddiya, Vappa, Mahanama, and Asajit. Those were the 5. Buddha taught this Dhamma to these 5 disciples. At the end of the discourse, Buddha said, Jnanancha paname dassanang udapadi akuppa me cheto vimutti ayang antima jate natti dane punabhavo. What does it mean? Jnanancha paname dassanang udapadi. Jnana arose in me. Jnana means knowledge. Knowledge arose in me. Dassanang udapadi. Vision arose in me. Jnanancha paname dassanang udapadi. Akuppa me cheto vimutti. My cheto vimukti, the release of my mind, is akuppa, unshakable. Unshakable. Akuppa. Me cheto vimukti. Ayang antima jati. This is my last birth. Ayang antima jati. Natti dani punabhavo. Hereafter, no re-becoming for me. That is the meaning. Where the Buddha said, the vision arose in me. What is that vision? That vision is the Dhamma vision. Dhamma Chakku. That is called Dhamma Chakku. Chakku is eye. If you have eye, you have vision. That vision means Dhamma Chakku. Dhamma vision. What is that Dhamma vision? It is the three characteristics of existence. One has to have that vision. Then only one can enter the path as a stream enterer. This means, in order to enter the path as a stream enterer, one has to realize these three characteristics of existence. Not only Buddha. At the end of the discourse, Venerable Kondanya realized this. Yang kinchi samudaya dhammang sabbantang nirodha dhammang. Whatever is in the nature of arising, it is in the nature of perishing. He realized this. Whatever is in the nature of arising, it is in the nature of passing. Yang kinchi samudaya dhammang sabbantang nirodha dhamma. That is the realization. That is again anicca, understanding the nature of anicca. That Dhamma is called Dhamma Chakku. Dhamma Chakkung Udapadi. Dhamma I arose in me. That is what happened to Venerable Kondanya as well. So this means the three characteristics of existence. He realized the three characteristics of existence, and he himself, Venerable Kondanya himself, entered the path as a stream enterer. But he did not attain enlightenment. So this is how we have to understand the three characteristics. The three characteristics are anicca, dukkha and anatta. What is anicca? Anicca. Nicca means firm, established. It's firm, well established. Nicca. Nitya is the Sanskrit term. Nitya. Anitya. No, not established. No nicca. Anicca means no nicca. It's the negation. Anicca. Once the Buddha said, Anicca vata sankhara. All conditioned things are anicca. Anicca vata. Vata means certainly, surely, all things are anicca. Anicca vata sankhara. Uppada vaya dhammino. Their nature is uppada and vaya, arising and passing. It is the nature of all things. Uppada vaya dhammino. Uppajjitva nirujjanti. They arise and then they passes. Having arisen, they then passes. Then they pass. Uppajjitva nirujjanti. Tesang vupasamo sukho. Their cessation is what is called bliss. Tesang vupasamo sukho. The Sakka, the head of gods, he recited this same stanza after passing away of the Buddha. When he came to see the Buddha as passing away, right after the passing away of the Buddha, the Sakka, the head of gods, himself recited this stanza. Anicca vata sankhara. Vaya dhamma sankhara appamadena sampadetha. This is the last word of the Buddha. Buddha said, Vaya dhamma sankhara. Vaya means passing. All sankhara, all conditioned things are passing. Vaya Dhamma sankhara. Therefore, what should we do? Buddha said, Appamadena sampadeta. Practice diligently. Practice diligently. Appamadena sampadeta. In the Satipatthana Sutta, the discourse on the establishments of mindfulness. Every subject of meditation, object of meditation, there are different subjects, different methods of meditation. Every method, at the end of every method you find the praise. Samudaya dhammanupassī vā kāyasmiṃ viharati vaya dhammanupassī vā kāyasmiṃ viharati. What is samudaya? Origination, arising. Vaya, perishing. This is vipassana. According to these different methods of meditation given in the Satipatthana Sutta, first one has to practice samatha meditation, serenity meditation. And then one has to switch this to insight. Samatha is not enough. Samatha was taught many different teachers even before the Buddha. What is unique, the uniqueness of the teaching of the Buddha is vipassana. One has to switch this to vipassana. In order to switch this to vipassana, one has to understand the arising nature and perishing nature of the object. Your breath or any other object for your meditation. You see the change in nature, impermanent nature of the object. That is what is called samudaya dhammanupassī and vaya dhammanupassī. Not only that, samudaya vaya dhammanupassī, samudaya dhammanupassī, vaya dhammanupassī, rising nature, perishing nature, and arising and perishing nature. That is to be understood. In the Samyukta Nikaya, connected discourses, Samadhi Sutta, Buddha said, Samadhiṃ bhikkhave bhaveta. Monks, develop samadhi. Samahito bhikkhu yatha bhutaṃ pajanati. Concentrated practitioner, bhikkhu, who is concentrated, yatha bhutaṃ pajanati, see things as they are. Yatha bhutaṃ. What is that yatha bhuta? Then the Buddha himself explained what that yatha bhuta is. What can you see as they are? Rupassa samudayancha attagamancha. Rupa is form. You can see the real nature of this rupa, this body, this form. What is that? Rising and perishing. Rupasa samudayancha attagamancha. The rising nature and perishing nature of this form. Then vedanaya samudayancha attagamancha. The rising nature and perishing nature of this feeling. Sanyaya samudayancha attagamancha. The rising nature and perishing nature of this perception. Sankharanam samudayancha attagamancha. The rising and perishing nature of all formations and consciousness. Viññānassa samudayancha attagamancha. The rising and perishing nature of the consciousness. So that is what is called anicca. Anicca. So anicca, there are two terms. Anicca and anicca. When you write, you can see the difference. But when you pronounce, sometimes you can understand this. Anicca and anicca. A-N-I-C-C-A is anicca. That means impermanence. There is another term. A-N-I-C-C-H-A. Anicca. Some of our friends, those who do not know Pali, they take this twisted. That is how they grasp the snake from the wrong point. They use the second term as anicca. The meaning is like, I wish. So they say, what you like is not anicca. What you don't like is anicca. Something like that. So however, please understand the term anicca is A-N-I-C-C-A. Anicca. Anicca. It is not anicca, but anicca. Anicca means impermanence. All things are impermanent. All conditioned things, all created things are impermanent. That is how we put this now. Then what is dukkha? Dukkha, dukkha, difficult to bear. Dukkha means difficult to bear. Whatever is difficult to bear is dukkha. Dukkha, when we define this, as the Buddha himself said, we always talk about birth is dukkha, jatipi dukkha. Then decay is dukkha, jarapi dukkha. Then disease is dukkha, vyadipi dukkho. Then death is dukkha, maranampi dukkha. Appyehi sampayogo dukkho, association with unpleasant person is dukkha. Appyehi sampayogo dukkho. Then pyehi vipayogo dukkho, dissociation from present ones is dukkha. Pyehi vipayogo dukkho. Yam pichang nalabati tampi dukkha. What one does not, if one does not gain what one desires is dukkha. Appye yampicha nalabati tampi dukkhaṃ saṅkittena. In short, in brief, panchupadanakkhandha dukkha, all these five aggregates affected by clinging. These five aggregates are not dukkha. The Buddha said these five aggregates are not dukkha, but clinging to these five aggregates is the problem. It is the dukkha. That we have to understand clearly. Some people haste to say that five aggregates are dukkha. Five aggregates are not dukkha, but clinging to five aggregates. Then that is not only that. Dukkha means not only that. When the Buddha used the term dukkha, we easily translate it into the term suffering and simply say Buddhists are always talking about this term, talking about suffering. Always they suffer. Buddhists are always suffering. That is how some people say. We Buddhists are not that lazy, not that unintelligent. Buddh means intelligence, mindful, wisdom. We try to develop our wisdom. We not only talk about suffering, we talk about the cause of suffering. What is the cause? What is the cause of suffering? We talk about the cessation of suffering. And we talk about the path leading to the cessation of suffering. In short, we talk about the 4 types of suffering, 4 noble truths. This is what is called 4 noble truths. Suffering, dukkha, is threefold. Dukkha, due to pain. That is what we talk about. This birth is unsatisfactory, birth is suffering, decay is suffering, like that. That is what is called dukkha, due to pain. The second one is dukkha, due to formation, construction, sankhara dukkha. The first one is called in Pali dukkha dukkhata. The second one is called sankhara dukkhata, formation, construction. So what is construction? What is construction dukkha? Whatever we form many things. We construct many things. Whatever we construct is dukkha. Not only construct. We deconstruct. Sometimes we deconstruct. Construct and deconstruct. Then we reconstruct. Friends, whether it is construct, deconstruct or reconstruct, constructions are dukkha. All constructions are dukkha. All sankhara are dukkha. Sankhara has 3 characteristics. Buddha said, Uppado panyayati. There is a rising. You can see the rising nature. Then vayo panyayati. There you see the perishing nature. There is a rising and perishing. And not only that, Pitassa anyatattam panyayati. Pita is stain. While persisting, there is anyatatta, vibration. There is arising and perishing, arising and perishing. That is what is called vibration. Coming, going, arising, perishing. Birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. That happens all the time. All those who sat here are no more. What happened? Birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. Everything here changed. That change in nature is called arising, perishing nature. So that is what is called, those are called 3 marks of conditioned things. Uppada, Thiti, Bhanga. Uppada, Thiti. Thiti is not stable. Not well established Thiti. You don't see anything in the whole world. Unchanging entities, no entities, but activities. That activity is called Thita. Thiti. So that is what is called constructions are dukkha. Sankhara dukkhata. And the third kind of dukkha is called viparinama dukkha. Viparinama dukkha. What is viparinama? Parinama, viparinama means changing. So dukkha, due to changing. When things are changing, we are not happy. Due to changing, we are unhappy. That is change in nature. When we see things are changing, we are not happy. That is called viparinama dukkhata. Viparinama, parinama, evolution. Parinama is evolution. Evolution itself is dukkha. Evolution itself is dukkha. So what is not dukkha? Everything is dukkha. That is why we talk. That is why we say that it is the truth in the world. Friends, wherever beings are in the whole universe, dukkha is there. Truth is there. That is the truth. That is why the Buddha said, this is the truth. Buddha pointed out the 4 facets of this truth. Same truth. 4 sides of the same truth. That is how we have to understand dukkha. Then what is anatta? Anatta, this is the most difficult term to understand. I know this. For many people, it's very difficult. Anatta. Atta. First we have to understand the term atta. A-T-T-A, atta. Atta means self. Me. When we personalize ourselves. We say, it is me. It is I am. I am. That is what is called self. In grammar, we use I myself should do. You yourself should do. Like that. We use it in grammar. That is in language. Self. Atta. There is another term, another Pali term, A-T-T-H-A, Atta. It is not Atta, but Atta. That is why we have to understand the differences as well, all these differences. Little bit to different meanings. Atta means meaning or the enlightenment, Nibbana. Atta. Atthaṃ gatassa na pamāna matti. There is a phrase. Atthaṃ gatassa na pamāna matti. The person who entered Nibbana has no measurement. Is immeasurable. He is an immeasurable person. Enlightened ones are immeasurable ones. That is there. Attha means Nibbana. Oh, Atta, what is the meaning? Atta, kimatto Bhante. Bhante, what is the meaning? Kimatto Bhante, like that. Atta means meaning. We use the term not Atta, but Atta. In the Dhammapada, there is a chapter. The name of the chapter is Atta. Atta Vagga. Self. Chapter called Self. This chapter, some people have mistranslated, misinterpreted this chapter. At least some of the stanzas from that. Scholars make many mistakes because of their scholarly. They think that they are right and they write whatever they want. They have mistranslated some stanzas like Attahi Attano Nato. Attahi Attano Nato, in this case, they use the term Atta means self. You are, the Buddha said, you are your master. You are your master. Attahi attano nato. You are your master, the Buddha said. But they have translated this. Atta is the self, soul, is your refuge. Attahi attano nato, like that. So they have mistranslated this text. So it is very clear in that chapter it is very clear. The Buddha gave all the meanings clearly. That it is you. Always Buddha focused you. You yourself have to do this. Buddha show the path. You yourself have to make effort. Like that. Attanava katang papang attana sankilissati. Whatever the evil done by oneself has to suffer. Attanava katam papang attana sankilissati. One is defiled because of one's own action. Attana akatam papang attana visuddhyati. If one has not done evil, one is purified. Suddhi, asuddhi, pacchattam. Purity and impurity both depend on oneself. Oneself is not a self, not a permanent entity, not a substance. Buddha said, oneself is yourself. You yourself are responsible. So it is very clear, this teaching. Buddha did not see anything permanent in the whole system of the world. Nothing permanent. One day, while he was giving a talk, he got some dried cow dung, like this. Just like this, he got some cow dung. Showing that, said, monks, in this world, in the whole universe, there is no permanent thing, even of this much. Showing this little cow dung on his nail. Even this much permanent thing is not in the world. That is why you have to practice. That is why you have to practice, the Buddha said. In the time of the Buddha, right after the first discourse, many people in the time of the Buddha, many people believe that there is a permanent entity called soul or self. Permanent thing which is emanated from the Creator and after that will be unified with the Creator. That was the belief. And they believe that it is transmigrating from birth to birth. Therefore they believe that there is a reincarnation. The 5 disciples, as I said earlier, the 5 disciples, none of them attained enlightenment after listening to the first sermon. Why? They all were Brahmins. They believed that there is an entity, permanent thing, within and without. As long as they believed that, they couldn't attain enlightenment by listening to the first sermon. Right after that, the Buddha had to deliver another discourse to explain, to illustrate the characteristics of non-self. That is the second discourse, Anatta Lakkhana Sutta, characteristics of non-self, where the Buddha said, monks, now give your attention to your eye. Observe your eye. See your eye. Then the monks started to observe. Then the Buddha questioned whether the eye Now observe I. Is I permanent or impermanent? Then they observe through their meditation, they practice. Now, when the Buddha instructed them, they started to practice. They observe I and they understood that no, there is no such permanent thing in the I. No permanent thing in the I. Therefore they said, no, Bhante, it is impermanent. Then Buddha asked, if it is impermanent, is it happiness or unhappiness? This is dukkha or sukha? They said, dukkha Bhante. It is dukkha. It is unhappiness. Unsatisfactory Bhante. Then Buddha questioned, now observe, understand the I, if it is impermanent, unsatisfactory, can you grasp it as your own? Can you hold it as your own? It has some permanent thing? Then they said, no Bhante, it is without a self. No self. Not self. They said, not self Bhante. So anicca, dukkha, anatta, they realized that there is no such things in the I. Then the Buddha said, now observe, understand form. Like that, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind, all these 6 internal and 6 external bases. Buddha asked them to observe all these things and understand whether there is anything permanent. They realized. They said, there is no such thing. With that realization, they all attained enlightenment. They all became arahants. That is by realizing this true nature of all things. Again, one day, a debater named Satchaka went to see the Buddha. Satchaka used to claim that he was the best debater of the time. He said, there is nobody to debate with me. No recluse, no Brahmins can debate with me. I can defeat anybody. And he said, if I were to challenge to a senseless post, that the post itself tremble, shiver. He boasted. One day he saw Venerable Assaji. Assaji means of the 5 disciples, first 5 disciples, the junior, the most junior. Assaji is the last one. Bhante Assaji was going from house to house begging. So he saw this Bhante and he went to see him, and he asked Venerable Assaji, how does your teacher, how does Gautama, how does the Buddha discipline his disciples? What is his instruction? Then Venerable Assaji said, the Buddha disciplines his disciples with this instruction. What is the instructions? Buddha teaches us, this form is impermanent. Feeling is impermanent. Perception is impermanent. Volitional formations are impermanent. And consciousness is impermanent. And then Buddha further teaches us, this form is not self. Feeling is not self. Perception is not self. Volitional formations are not self. And consciousness is not self. That is how the Buddha instructs us. He said, oh, this is something not to be heard. This is wrong. It is a wrong conception. One day I would go see the Buddha, and saying so, he went. And on the way he saw an assembly of 500 Likshavis. 500 people got together for a meeting. He then went to that place and he said that, now please come. Today I am going to debate with Buddha. I am going to invite Buddha to a debate. You can see how we are doing that. I will take him as if a stone man were taken the long-haired ram with its long hair and dragged to and fro and drag round about. I will take him and I will debate with the Buddha. Come now, come, let's go, he said. And then all the people wanted to see this debate. Because those days no TV, no film, anything to enjoy. This is a wonderful opportunity for them to enjoy. So they all went to see this. When they went to see the Buddha, he greeted the Buddha, and after that he asked, what is the instructions the Buddha give to his disciples? And how does the Buddha discipline his disciples? And when asked, Buddha also said the same thing. Buddha said that I instruct them, this form is impermanent, feeling is impermanent, perception is impermanent, volitional formations are impermanent, and consciousness is impermanent. Then form is not self, feeling is not self, perception is not self, volitional formations are not self, and consciousness is not self. When this said, he said, it reminds me a simile. He said, now all these beings, they depend on earth. Depend on earth. All beings depend on earth, and they do things. They do all things depend on earth. Likewise, we all depend on these 5 aggregates, or depend on form, feeling, perception, volitional formation, and consciousness. And we do good deeds and bad deeds, merit and demerit. We do all this depend on these things. So therefore, he says that it is the form is self. Now he says form is self, feeling is self, perception is self. Like that he said all these are what is called self. Then the Buddha said, now Buddha told him that now I will give you a simile. Now suppose there are kings, they have power, they can do anything, they can use their power to do anything. Like they can exercise their power to execute any person to be executed, to punish anything to any person to be punished, and to banish any person to be banished. Like that they have power. Likewise, Buddha asked him whether you can do that. Whether you can exercise your power to your form, saying that my form should be thus, my form should not be thus, my feeling should be thus, my feeling should not be thus. Like that, can you do that? Buddha asked him, Buddha questioned. Then he became silent. He's dumb. He became silent, completely silent. Then the Buddha asked the question, same question. Then as he was not answering, then there appeared a spirit with a thunderbolt, a blazing thunderbolt, and threatened him answer the Buddha's questions. So he then started to answer. Buddha asked then whether this form is permanent or impermanent? He said it is impermanent. Not simply here, that it is with contemplation, with clear understanding, he says it is impermanent. Then the Buddha asked, this form, is it happiness or unhappiness? It is unhappiness, dukkha. Is it with self or non-self? It is non-self, without a self. Like that, form, feeling, perception, volitional formation, consciousness, all these things, he accepted. All these are impermanent, unsatisfactory, and without a self. He understood this. He realized this. And then eventually, he wanted to understand how one becomes an enlightened one. Then the Buddha explained him how one becomes enlightened one. In order to become enlightened ones, one has to understand these 5 aggregates. And also the past, future, present, and also time-wise and space-wise, we have to understand all things. Time and space, within time and space, everything is impermanent, unsatisfactory, and without a self. Everything is not mine, not me, not myself. With that understanding, the Buddha said, with that understanding, one can attain enlightenment. So, to attain enlightenment, first one has to come to the path. As I said earlier, in order to come to the path, one has to understand the 3 characteristics of existence. With that understanding, one can cut off first 3 fetters. Sakkaya Ditti, Vicikiccha, Silabbata Paramas. Sakkaya Ditti is personality belief. Personality belief is we personalize ourselves in 20 ways, 20 different methods, 20 ties. We are tied, we are fettered with 20 ways. That is what is called personality belief. Friends, it is a belief. It is one view. That is called Sakkaya Ditti. If we have another Ditti, another view of permanent entity, self, what happened? We have 2 different views. We have to cut off these 2 different views. Without cutting off these 2 views, we cannot enter the path as was treatment. Those who cut off these fetters, 10 fetters, there are 10 fetters. When we cut off all these 10 fetters, the last one being avijja, ignorance, we can cut off all defilements, all taints. Taints are called asava in Pali. When we cut off all the taints, we become kina asava. Kina means destroyed, cut. Kina asava means the enlightened one. That is how one can attain enlightenment. So this is the way. So in order to attain enlightenment, this is a must. Vipassana is a must. Vipassana means 3 characteristics of existence. We have to see this. We have to realize these 3 characteristics. Therefore, friends, let's all understand the significance of this wonderful Dhamma. And let's practice this Dhamma in our daily life. And let's join different retreats. Practice again and again, so that one day we can realize these 3 characteristics of existence and realize real peace, real happiness, of Nibbana. May we all attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.